Hello all. So today I am showing you some stuff on Pythagoras. Now, Pythagoras was this Greek guy who came up with this theory in mathematics that literally changed everything. Now, most of you have probably heard of Pythagoras' theorem. Some of you might even know what it is, but this video is just the basics of how to use it. So Pythagoras discovered that when you have any right angle triangle, the length of this side plus the length of this side, both squared, will always equal the length of this side squared. Now, there's a million videos on YouTube that prove it. My favourite one is the water one. So if you have a chance, have a look at it. But if you have a short side and another short side, it will always equal the longest side squared. Now, how do I know that that is the longest side? Well, if this is my right angle, opposite my right angle is always something called the hypotenuse. The hypotenuse is always the longest side. I really do apologise if I spelled that wrong. So, if this side is A, and this side here is B, and this side here is C, the theorem states that A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Now, what if I can use this theorem to find any missing lengths on any right angle triangle, and it will always be on right angle triangles. So if I just keep this here and I take, let's say this one, I've got a triangle that is 9 meters by 12 meters. Now I want to find the length of this missing side. Now I can tell that this is the hypotenuse because it is directly opposite my right angle. So this is my hypotenuse. Now if we look back at that, and I'm going to rewrite it here, A squared plus B squared equals C squared. So the squares of both of the shorter sides always makes the square of the longest side. If I go back to this now, that means 9 squared plus 12 squared will equal the length of this hypotenuse. 9 squared plus 12 squared is going to be 81 plus 144. If I get out my calculator, 81 plus 144 equals, let's do 81, that might help. 81 plus 144 equals 225. Some of you might know the square root of that, but just so we can all see it clearly, the answer is 15. So 225 is the square. We square root 225 and we get the answer of 15. So that means this length here is going to be 15, and I'm going to use the unit meters. Okay, so I can find the longest side by keeping the theorem in that format. However, what if I want to know one of the other sides? I've got another one here. I've got another right angle triangle. Again, not drawn accurately. And I've got one short edge and now the hypotenuse because this is opposite my right angle. So instead of using the theorem in that setup, we're going to have to change it ever so slightly. It's going to be 12 squared plus my unknown, squared equals 37 squared. I'm going to have to rearrange that. So I can do my unknown squared equals 37 squared minus 12 squared. I'm going to put all of that into my calculator. So 37 squared minus 12 squared equals, oh, big number. Oh, wait, that's because I did divide instead of minus. Apologies, guys. There you go, is 1,225. If I square root that answer, it gives me 35. So that there is now 1,225. So if I square root it, I will get 1,000. Apologies. So that means this length here is 35, millimeters. 35 millimeters. This pen is running out. So that is just very briefly how to use Pythagoras' theorem of a squared plus b squared equals c squared, where a and b are the two shortest sides and c is the hypotenuse, the longest side, which is always opposite the right angle.